starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host, Superman, in the house. And I tell you this, I didn't plan on the little Superman film. Yeah, that's all I can say. Oh, we got some feedback here. Got to cancel that. But this girl, it just happened. It's just the way it goes. Your host, Superman, in the house, literally looking like the badass, and of course, we're looking pretty good. So big shout out there to nature. Nature played its call. Now we're going to have a fun time because we're going to talk about trading top cryptos, and of course the best market performance. We're going to check all those out today. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Big shout out to TJ in the house there. Rah. And we got Wookie as well. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I just love that intro, man. It's so badass. And I got a new end of the show trailer. So the end of the show trailer is going to be full video coming up. So that is going to be exciting as well. Looking forward to that. And I just want to, give a thanks to people that make that happen. So kind of cool. Now, we got some cool news. I think we got lots of cool little Intel drops today. We have lots of Intel drops, so you guys are going to enjoy that, I think. And some of them you may know, some of them you may not know. So we're going to find out. The Gig Show says, Wookie, a big shout there to one of our community leaders, Wookie in the house. And we've got also Arthur Walsh there. G'day from Bris Vegas. Big shout out to you, Arthur. Hope you're doing well in Bris Vegas there. Very, very nice. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the markets and get into the chats. If you're over on Rumble, definitely get in over there too. So Arthur is over on YouTube there, and if you're over on Rumble, definitely smash the follow button, and of course hit the well, I've got it over there actually. Hit the repost, and of course definitely get into the chat. We've got Wookie, one of our moderators over there, so get out there and do it. All right, so we're going to be talking a lot of stuff today, man. I mean, we're going to talk about the best performers. We're going to follow up a bit on PDI and the Tropa. We're going to follow up on a lot of printer tokens and things like that. So we're going to get into it and some of the top performers. We've got a lot of intel there. New things for Hex coming with Dip Catcher. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a pretty exciting show. So something for everybody, I hope. All right, so let's get into it without further ado. And we're going to, I haven't even got the setup there. How about that? That's a bit lazy of me. It's a bit lazy, but hey, sometimes it happens. Bam. Let's go. You get to see behind the scenes. See behind the scenes there. We got the stock market today. S&P 500 appears gains to close slightly higher amid tariff woes. Obviously, that tariff now, of course, going to play on for 90 days at least, at least just under 90 days now, isn't it? We've got the Dow Jones there down 1.3%. That's the top 30 industrials. And we've got the amount of points down to 527. We're down to 39,142. The S&P 500, however, is slightly green. So we've got a bit of a mixed result there. It is up 0.13%, 7 points to 5,282. And then we've got the NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it, right? NVIDIA and Tesla and all these other ones. That is just down slightly, 1,312% there. And that is down 21 points to 16,286. So a bit of mixed results there today on the stock market there. The volatility index is down 9 points. So that's kind of cool to see that. And the US dollar there sitting at 99.13. So making the US more competitive. In other words, more exports, but on the other hand, fuels inflation a little bit, making consumer power there for the United States a little bit weaker. Remember, the United States has got a GDP of about 27 trillion, and it is the big consumer in the world, right? So that's where it's got all the cards, holding the cards there. Now let's go to the commodities. We got West Texas at the moment. West Texas. Why can't I say Texas? Texas. Yeah, West Texas. That's weird, eh? That's weird. That's pretty funny, though. All right. That's pretty funny. Let's get into it. Okay. All right. I wasn't trying to make a joke as usual. But we got West Texas there at $64.68. We got Brent oil at $67.85. And we got gold there still holding strong, man. Record level highs of gold, 3,341. And silver there, $32.54. So the metals are moving up quite nicely indeed there. So that's pretty good news for that. All right, let's jump over to the markets as well. We got United Health cuts profits, so we're going to get moved past the results there. I just want to get to the trade negotiations. So obviously, President Trump's had the Italian Prime Minister in the Oval Office over the last 24 hours, and of course, a very good alliance, right? A more conservative politician compared to the globalists and Marxists running most of Europe, and so pretty good. I think she's doing a good job. I don't think she's doing an outstanding job. But she's got more work to do. But at least she's made some progress there. Away from the corporate sector, U.S. President Donald Trump declared a big progress in the negotiations with Japan and Washington. So this is the big hope, right? This is what I said about Trump's strategy, and over the next sort of let's say 80 days or something, we're going to get all the way up to say July the 4th, July the 7th is probably the key date there. And July the 4th being Independence Day, 1776, right? You guys know it. And the founding of America, the separating from Britain, and of course setting up the 13 colonies, right, the 13 states. And of course, it's going to be 249 years at that time celebration. Isn't that crazy? Which means 250 years is going to be under Trump's, preview in 2026. Pretty exciting. So I'm expecting a lot of this foundational stuff that Trump's doing in terms of reorganizing the world along our strategy we talked about, right? Fixing the federal budget, fixing taxes, fixing the regulations, and of course, fixing World Trade Order. Those are the kind of key priorities there, laying the foundation for the United States to boom, along with all the right investments, right? Making all the right investments. So this is kind of the summary of what Trump is doing, and it is going very, very well indeed. He's getting some pushback from the usual players, but he's really pushing through there. Anyway, so he's got Japan coming up, and I said, if we've got like over 90 countries or more that are in negotiations, we're going to get good news after good news after good news for the most part. We've even got China now starting to capitulate, and looks like they're going to be doing a deal, which is a smart decision from them as well. So declared big progress in the negotiations with Japan and Washington, raising optimism that there could be negotiated settlements between US and major trading partners over tariffs, avoiding all-out global war. Not only is this going to be the so-called global war, but in trade, but it's going to be good news for the stock market and crypto. So it's going bam, 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 bam. It's going to have a whole news flow of good ones, especially the top 15, which they're looking to make deals with, right? So the top 15 that came out today, that's sort of breaking news there. The top 15, they're looking to make deals, and that's going to be fantastic. You imagine a deal after deal coming out, and the market's going to love that, right? Market's going to love that. Japan was the first major trading partner to negotiate directly with the United States and could be seen as a test case for many other countries, reportedly seeing better terms on their U.S. tariffs. Now, we know that India's coming up, right? India's coming up, I think, next week. And so we've also got other countries coming in as well. So I think it's going to be pretty, pretty exciting. Now, European Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen. Now, you got to remember, this lady here is just one of these evil globalists, right? She's really bad. I mean, she's destroying the Europe. She's absolutely completely nuts. And so, the fact that she's even indicating she wants to give negotiations a chance, that's a positive thing. But hey, look, if they don't get in line, Europe's going to be under a lot of problems, right? Because Europe's, lots of problems. I mean, there's now problems, and it's all because these guys are crazy, right? Crazy people. While Bloomberg reported on Wednesday that China is open to beginning trade talks with the Trump administration, but is demanding the White House show more respect and stem disparaging remarks about its cabinet members. Now, Trump also has moved on to the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell, of course, we talked about that yesterday, talking about maybe not doing rate cuts. We've got other presidents in the Fed talking about rate cuts, right? If we get close to like a recession or a soft recession. Remember, a recession is basically 2 quarters, a technical recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. So that's kind of where we're heading there. Out, and this is what he says here. So Fed Chair Powell Wednesday said that the Fed was not inclined to cut interest rates in the near future, citing inflationary pressures and economic uncertainties introducing by new tariffs. So using Trump's own new tariff volatility against him, despite the fact that inflation is relatively low. Now, aggregated inflation, particularly during the Biden years, was quite high. And so that's what people are paying. That's what people are finding really tough to pay. Is every year you have high inflation that adds together, and things are just a lot higher. But the actual current rate of additional inflation is down around just over 3%, like 3.2% or thereabouts. Our obligation is to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to make certain that one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. This is a bit of an exaggeration. Now, you got to remember that the Powell and the Federal Reserve were late to move on the interest rates, and then they were very violent and quick, the fastest rate rise in history to get interest rates up. And now they've come down to 4.5%, and And so this is kind of where we are at the moment on the Fed funds rate. So it needs to be lower. Trump wants it lower. Why? Because he's lowered oil prices already. We've seen those come down dramatically, and he wants to lower interest rates because those are the key inputs into the economy, right? Of course, oil into the economy makes over about 90% of the products are made with some degree of oil. And then, of course, we've got the money supply, right? Which has interest rates determine how cheap money is to borrow, invest, consume, all that good stuff there. And so that's what Trump's trying to get that going. Also, they've got government debt they've got to redo every year. And remember, the government debt's ridiculous. We're talking about 36, 37 trillion, and they've got about 13 trillion of that to redo over the next sort of 12 months. So there's a lot of reasons to get that interest rate down. Now, our obligation is to keep the long-term rates down, he said. Trump doubled down on his earlier criticism of Powell and suggested that he could remove the Fed chairman. And, of course, the Federal Reserve is part of in the law, and it's supposed to be neutral, right? But, of course, the question is partisan politics being played here? Is Jerome Powell and, this sort of playing out now? As I recall that Trump did nominate Powell, but, of course, in the first term, the economy was booming. But now, of course, there's politics being played. And so is there a big politics play game behind? Now, the Democrats play politics every moment they get. So is this happening here? There's a reasonable chance of it, I think. In any case, Trump says, if I want him out, he'll be out real fast. Believe me, Trump says there. The remarks came after the president referred to Powell as too late in his post, saying that Powell's determination cannot come fast enough because Trump wants lower interest rates. And that will be better for America because Trump is going to expand supply, right? And expanding supply means that any demand pressures are going to be modest, right? Modest to decreasing if you can expand supply. So this is where Trump is a real winner with the economics because he focused on supply, not just demand, whereas the Democrats just do all demand and just absolutely trash the economy, spend. So Powell's term as chair is set to continue until May 2026, and his term as governor is expected to last until February 2028. And of course, Trump's recent criticism of the Fed echoes the sentiments he expressed during the first term as president. The number of Americans filing new applications for unemployment benefits also fell last week, suggesting labor market conditions remained stable in April. And the US single-family home building plunged to an 8-month low there. So that's some of the key things that have been happening in the markets. And there's some big stuff there as well. Yeah, that is interest rates have to, if he can get them lower, that is a boom for the United States. And that's what Trump needs to get, those two key things, right? Oil prices and, of course, the interest rates. The other one, of course, I guess the third one would be exchange rate. And, of course, that has been depreciating, make the US more competitive, but, potentially fueling a bit of price inflation, what they call imported inflation, as opposed to domestic inflation, right? So that's kind of where we are there. Well, let's jump into the markets on crypto. Let's go to the big view as well. And let's play some fun music. All right, so we got at $85,600. So Bitcoin's looking good, man. The stock market might be, showing mixed results, but the Bitcoin is looking real good there, 85,600, and we're at 1.8% today. And the Bitcoin dominance almost at 62%. I cannot believe it's still climbing. Just shows to show you, markets can be difficult to predict. And here they are. It's just going up and up here, this dominance. Now, remember, 2021, the bull market, altcoin season started when Bitcoin hit about 70%, and we have been clocking it up here at 62. Now, we went, if I remember rightly, we went up at this level when Bitcoin was first started to move, right? And we've had this retrace, and from 108K, and we're now down 85.5. But it's starting to move up the dominance there. Pretty interesting stuff. Now, some of the reasons why I always think that it's not going to get that high is because we've had a change in the market. We've got more matured technologies in crypto. We've got a way everyone can mint tokens these days. And of course, you see that all the time compared to 2021, when really it was just a coder's world, right? You had to know Solidity and all that sort of stuff. So the world has changed. And of course, we've got a lot of different investment vehicles now. And of course, Bitcoin now is kind of being the focus. So, because Bitcoin's the focus, that's the counter argument that all the money's going into Bitcoin, therefore the dominance can go up. Now, maybe once we hit 70%, we've had so much cash flowing into Bitcoin that we get the reversal, right? So, and this is on the second wave as well, right? And what we're calling this bull market that's coming ahead of us. We're kind of in that dip at the moment. And of course, with the trades, tariffs, it's kind of a sort of a gray swan event that's impacting the markets right now. ETH at the moment, $1,591. And we got that is down up 0.5%. There was Solana, this big winner there. And of course, this, Solana came off the top of the meme coin craze in January. Here we are back up 7%, $135. And we've got mixed results there. We got XRP down just slightly at $2.08. Tron there down 1% at 25 cents. But we have a lot of green ones there. BNB up 2.28%, $594, and ADA up 2.4% as well. Pretty similar amounts at 62.2 cents there. We've got Suchain there is up 2.7% at $2.14, and Litecoin up a little bit there as well at $75.57, just over 0.5%. So we do have a few movers there as well, movers and shakers. So not too bad there on the crypto markets. That brings us into the rankings. So just looking at the performance, best market performance here, we can see that the total crypto market cap on Coinbase index is 2.76 trillion. It's down 1.4%, but we've got some big movers here amongst the majors. And of course, Bitcoin's ranked at number 1, Ethereum number 2, XRP at number 4, BNB at number 5, Solana at number 6, Tron at number 8, Dogecoin, or Dogecoin, I guess you might call it in America, is at number 9 there, and Cardano there is at number 10. So ADA there is number 10. So those are our top 10. And the best performer in the last 24 hours has been BNB, actually. Oh, no, Solana still. So Solana still being the dominant one. Has been for many days now, and it's up 2.5%. In fact, the whole week, right? It's been up the whole week. So that's been the best performer. But, BNB not too bad today, up 1.2% out of the top 10. Now, looking at the top for the whole week, just Solana still ruling the roost there, up 20%. The old meme chain there on the comeback. We got Tron, not bad either. That's up 4.8%, and XRP up 5%. So not bad there, and Bitcoin at 6.7. So Bitcoin being the second best one, and followed by XRP, and then Tron there. So those are the top 10. Let's have a quick look at the best performers in the top 100. And we've got Render there up 11.4% last 24 hours. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, the FET token there up 8.5%. So if you're into some AI, that might be something you want to look at, that project. So if you want to trade some of these things, these are sort of things that you might look at. A good way of seeing what's been trending. We got the Tau there and BitTensor. That's up 7.4%. Number 4, Hyperliquid. That's been performing very well right over the week. And then we got, funny enough, we got good old Bitcoin Cash there with Bitcoin Jesus there out there, and that is the number 5, up 3.5% there at the moment. Now, in the top week, for the week in the top 100, we got Render still number 1, up 20%. Binance Stake Sol is up 20%. Solana number 3. So only one from the top 10, I should say, is in the best performers in the top 100. So that is Solana up 20% there. So you might want to take a look at Solana, for example, and see what's happening there, because it's definitely on a comeback. We've got Hyperlink there is been performing like a boss in the last week, also up 19.4% in the top 100. And then you got FET there up 18.7%. As well, and so that's pretty cool. Those are top 5 performers. And of course, we'd also talked about yesterday Fartcoin doing pretty well, right? We've had Curve and Tokenize, they've been doing pretty well last couple of days as well. So there is some of the better performers. And so where do you want to trade? You want to trade some of these better performers in the majors, what we call the majors, I guess. And that's kind of where we go. Now, looking at some of the top gainers there, we've got IQ with the little IQ symbol there, up 17.4%. That seems to be a top gainer. A Dark Eclipse as well, 30% there. Anvil as well, up 16%. So those seem to be better performers. And we've got Bitcoin, Cubic, and SwissGs there on the social trendings. I'm not sure what those measures are. Actually, I'm going to have to go refresh myself. But that's kind of where we are with the old crypto numbers. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. And let's get out of that. And let's get out of that. And we got the Bitcoin. And you guys know it. This is the orange circle of volatility. And it has pretty much played out. We had a nice little rally here into it of $88. Then when we got up to the 10% tariffs back on the 5th of April, and then the specific tariffs or higher tariffs on the 9th of April, we had the market tank into that, right? The market tanked all the way from 89,000 all the way down to 74,500. And then, of course, there were worries that it could go down to that next kind of level zone of 63K, which is a long way down from, the 80,000 marks. So we bounced from 74,500, and we've come back up to meet the 200 moving average, which is currently at 85,000. So we're on 85,000 pretty much at the moment, 84,900, and we're pretty much at that mark. The 50 moving average is only $346 higher. That's the yellow line. That's the 50-day. And, of course, we're still in a golden cross, so we're still in a bullish environment, and we're hoping to avoid this. So far, so good. If we do cross over, hopefully it's only temporary, but at the moment we're looking good to move out of this, especially with all these trade deals coming, right? This Japan one coming up, that's going to be very, very close. There's also an agreement with Ukraine coming. That's going to be an 80-page agreement that's going to be signed as well. So there is good news flow to come out of the White House. Everything is heading in the right direction. And as Trump said, this circle of volatility is also when he said he did the surgery on the U.S. economy with tariffs in the world, the surgery, and now it's time to heal. And all these deals that are going to come out with these trade deals are going to be that part of the healing, and we're going to be moving forward during the 90-day period, right through to here. And then we're going to have 4th of July, right? I've got 250, but it's actually 249. And let me just change that, 249 years since the independence, and that's coming in the United States independence. So that's pretty cool. That's coming up. That's going to be on the 7th. So on the 4th of July, which is a Friday, and then we're going to, on the 7th, we're probably going to have a big party there for Trump. And he's going to say, hey, look, I restructured the world order and trade. I've helped to get rid of our tariff deficits, which remember is $1.2 trillion. Now, this excludes services, which America makes a surplus in, but this is to do with deficit with goods, and this is fundamental to the United States, right? This is jobs in the Midwest. It's also to do with you've got to find money to pay that money. You're missing out strategic manufacturing and resources. This is a fundamental problem, and China was taking advantage of that over the decades, right? As they were moving forward. Everyone thought, okay, you're funding China's development from when they were mostly doing agriculture and other things, but they were going to be a nice modern liberal economy, but all they ended up was being an authoritarian communistic regime, right? And of course, looking to become number one and take over the world, right? It's all in their published, documents, their 30-year plan, the 7-year plan. It's all in there, right? So it's all in that stuff. So this is a much needed reorder in the world order, and only Trump had the gall to do it. So it's pretty exciting to see that. And so what I'm suspecting in this green line here with the arrow is that we're going to get multiple deals, trade deals done. It's going to be good news all the way, and the price of crypto is just going to rally out of that. Very, very bullish. And if you can do something around interest rates, that would be also very, very good. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Obviously, we're looking to avoid a death cross by having more green candles, and I think we've got a good lay of the land for that to happen, which is kind of neat. Now, we did have a comment here from Dipcatcher. So he's in the Pulse Chain community as one of the big developers, and he's got ETH on the Dipcatcher algorithm, weekly time frame on the buy zone for the first time since 2022. This is a good thing. He's saying this is a good thing for the resurgence of Hex. So obviously he's an EHEX bull, and he's got his little buy order here. It says ETH on the Dipcatcher algorithm weekly time frame on the buy zone for the first time since 2022. So it looks pretty good. So that's kind of where he is at the moment. And so that's a little bit of a tidbit there from the old Dipcatcher. Now we've got a few more comments in the chat there, so let's get to that before we get into Pulse Chain, because that's coming up next, and we're going to have a look at a lot of tokens that people are trading and buying. So not bad. Let's see here. We got Wookie says the Superman curl. What? Yeah, no, it's crazy. Right? That is alpha. That's for sure. We got Mikey in the house as well. Excavator. Hey, good to see you. Hey, gang. Big shout out. We got Henry as well. What's the next 1000x? Says Henry. And we need to ape in. And recoup losses, says Henry. Yeah, recoup losses. We're going to talk about a lot of the top performers at the moment and some of the ones you may want to check out there. All right, so let's get into it, and let's get back into the Pulse Chain numbers here. Now, I just want to talk about something that came up, and this is from the Pulse Alert Bridge, and you can see here that transactions, this is Pulse Chain News and Talk. We got Pulse Chain Bridge Alert. Transactions on the Pulse Chain Bridge have been temporarily paused, so this was only, how long? 9 hours, so 10 about 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. And transactions on the Pulse Chain Bridge have been temporarily paused for the past hour. This happens by validators when the beat is over 5 million. So we've been having really high beats on Pulse Chain. In other words, the GUI has been really expensive. So the amount of pulse that's going to cost you to do PulseX transactions, for example, might be go from 3,000 to like maybe $250,000 pulse or something crazy. This happens by validators when the beat is over 5 million. It's currently at 145 million at the time of writing. That was 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. This is the second time this week it has been paused. And this is why I've been talking about we need more alternatives for bridging, whether that's on-chain to on-chain wallet swapping, like we potentially see with products like Pulse LN, for example, which works from BNB to Pulse and back. It's not always open, but that's the kind of sort of stuff we see. We don't have as much support which with change now and swap space and all that sort of stuff. PortalX uses that change now, of course, so that sort of knocks it out a bit. And so we do need more on ramps. And so the only real on ramp that I'm aware, apart from a few exotic ones, maybe we might talk about those, is Coast, right? Coast and the Fiat on ramp there. So that's a way to get onto Pulse Chain. So we definitely need more developers working on bring some sort of bridging technology, whether it's connecting into Pulse Chain directly, or whether it's doing on-chain to on-chain, cross-chain swaps with pools, token pools there, which is a little bit more like accounting, but because it depends on demand, supply, and all sorts of stuff. So we'll see how we go with that. But that is an issue coming up as well. And just 1 hour ago, it said coming up on 3 hours now. Bridge is still paused. You can bridge, and we had this the other day, right? I think it was 2 days ago. We had the bridge there when PDI was going down, getting sold down by Katie and the ex-USD team. We saw that this bridge was shut down then too, and it took quite a few hours. I think it was over 12 hours to open back up, and then money started flowing into the bridge as well as out of the bridge as well. So that's kind of where we are there. And the bridge to Ethereum into Pulse Chain is paused. Can still come over there. That was 2 hours ago. So that is a bit of an update there. So if you're wondering why it does get paused, once it gets a sort of over 5 million beats, it pauses. And the reason why is because the validators that are operating the bridge, it gets expensive, right? So they for every single transaction they got going, and so they have to pause it there. And if you remember, flashback to when Pulse Chain launched, Richard Hart was talking about, does anyone want to donate polls to the validators so we can get the thing going? It was a little bit of a calamity, to be honest. But here we are today. Volume sometimes can, trick people's plans, and that definitely happened at the beginning of Pulse Chain, and of course when the bridge opened up, and of course and now it's happening still now. So we need more solutions around this. So big shout out to or call to action from the Pulse Chain developers that may have the ability to do this sort of stuff. That would be pretty cool. All right, so that gets us into Pulse Chain. At the moment, we've got day 707. Pulse there had a little bit of a green day overnight. It's chilled off a little bit now, but we were up over double-digit growth here on Pulse Chain when I tuned in for the evening, or well, actually probably early in the morning. And here we are, quadruple 0269, up 2.6%, 27% of the mean sacrifice for Pulse. Pulse is the main fee coin for Pulse Chain, and of course, Pulse Chain there, 707 days since it launched back on the 13th of May 2023, and of course a full system state copy of Ethereum back on the 10th of May 2023. So that's kind of where we are there. We've got PulseX at the moment, quadruple 021, up 1.8%, 21% of the mean sacrifice price. So everything is cheap on Pulse Chain right now, especially the core Richard Hart tokens. So accumulating these at this low level, I think, is a pretty smart idea. And so if you're trading, this is definitely one you want to pick up and a scoop up there. And the other thing, of course, we also see PulseX trending up versus Pulse most of the time. So PulseX definitely been the stronger in the leverage play. But of course, when we've got more softer markets or down markets, Pulse is the better coin, right? So it becomes the safety haven relative to PulseX most of the time. We got the total buy and burn on PulseX is 1,379 billion. We're almost 1,380 billion. 6.98% of the public supply has been bought up, so it excludes the Origin account sacrifice wallets, and so we're almost at 7%, which is pretty good. So we've got thinner liquidity pools, we've got higher burn, so there's less supply, and we've got the chance that we can go up real fast. We're on V2 pools, so it goes up at a square, right? The formula V2, X times Y equals K, so it goes up at a square, and so once your buying starts, it starts steamrolling, and that price curve goes up, and we get parabolas forming. And we can go up and up and up and up, just like we've gone down, down, down with Black Swan and Grey Swan events. With White Swan events, we can go up, up and up and up. So, get out there. I felt like a conductor doing that. But anyway, that's just how we go. So that's kind of where we are. Incentive token there, $1.17. This got up to about $1.26 that I saw earlier. But we're up 1.9% at the moment. And remember, the inflation on incentive tokens been cut 20x. And of course, all the liquidity pools been thinned out by a couple $100 million, and so it's good to go. This Pulse Chain is good to go. Accumulate. Hex at the moment 0.6 of a penny. EHEX at 1/1600 of a penny. So EHEX looks a little bit better actually. And PHEX and EHEX combined price is 77/100th of a penny at the moment on those. So that's pretty good results there for Hex. All right, looking at the gas prices. After all, since the bridge was closed down, we're sitting at 15.5 million beats. So remember, over 5 million. the validated bridge sort of stops, and we've got to wait for it to process there. So it will probably open up once we get a bit softer here, but we definitely got high beats here at the moment. 10 cents for a PulseX swap at the moment on chain. Let's have a look at the validators. Now, apparently, we do have some issues around validators, not with the numbers, because we've been going up 49,194, but I think with the quality of validators, and so therefore I think that's contributing to some issues on the chain. We know that Katie from the XUSD team was talking about setting up more validators to help out with the chain validation. And of course, let's get to the bridge. We've got the bridge there at the moment is sitting at 81.3 million. So we're actually up. We're up. So we were down at 80 million.3 yesterday. So we're up almost $1 million. So that's good news. So we're up almost $1 million on the old chain there. We've got ETH up there and Bitcoin up, looking pretty good. And even DAI is up a little bit too, actually. I think we're at 22.4, we're at 22.5. Some good stuff happening there. And here's what's the big mover. Can you guys see the big mover? The mover and shaky here moving us up, definitely contributing at least 20% of our up on the bridge value today. Well, you can see it's Coast, it's the fiat on ramp, because the bridge is shutting down a couple of times the last couple of days. Coast is the only solid way to get large monies through, as far as I know, and that is up another $200,000. So Coast, they're delivering. Big shout out to the Coast team there, looking very, very good, up at 9.6, moved from 9.4 to 9.6. Pretty exciting. Now, we do have native stable coins, right? So we can create sort of stable coins in existence. We got USDL, PXDC, and HexDC based on PulseX, and Hex. We also got the ink printer, right, with the ink based on ink. And of course, that is from Faster Abdul. So we've got 4 liquidity forks that's got the biggest pool too now. Last time I checked, and so they're doing pretty well. Also, we've got the Coast, which is doing well now, 9.6 million. So that is slowly moving up there. So what to get? We've got 6.4 million in liquidity there. Plus, I don't know why the ink print is not on here. GoPulse probably needs to add that. Don't know what's happening here. And then, of course, we're waiting for PUSD ALGO to come, right? And of course, we've also got this XUSD slowly grinding its way with all these things that Katie and the team are doing at the moment to equalize stablecoins, PDI, USDC, USD Tether. These are all the fork copies, of course, and moving a Troper as well. Burning a Troper, and of course moving XUSD up as well with the burn. Now it's burn sitting pretty high now on the old burn there, and it's tracking pretty well. So I think it's sitting about 8.4% or something of the XUSD has now been burned, and that's up dramatically in the last 2 days from 2%, 3%. So they've really made some big moves there, and they're not finished yet, as far as I know. All right, so I think they still have dry powder on the PDI for the Troper, so that could be some big move there too. All right, so that's kind of where we are on the old Pulse chain. Let's get into the volumes, and we've got $59.9 million of volumes. I think yesterday we had 80 million. So we were sitting all week. We're sitting around 22 to 25 million, more or less. And then we jumped to 80 million on the PDI move, and then on all the stuff Katie was doing with the XUSD team, and then around Troper and others tokens. And now we've got $60 million on volume today. So still pretty elevated volume. And, that's moved us into what we're at number 4 on the DEXs here. So behind Base, Ethereum, and BNB, we are at number 4 there in volume. And we've got over 500,000 transactions. So that's pretty damn high, right? That's pretty damn high. Normally we're sitting around 300,000, let's say. So that's a really good increase there. Now, some of the top performers overnight. So we're talking about the best market performers here on Pulse Chain. We've talked about the ones in crypto, right? We went to CoinGecko, did that. Well, the ones here on Pulse Chain, we've got Savant there. This is another printer token, right, from the OG WebChef and the Finvested team. And that is had some pretty crazy volatility overnight, 402%. And it's been pretty insane, right? So that is the chart there at the moment. It's at $6.89 on the Savant there. So not too bad. I don't know if they've got the details in there. No, they don't. But that is another printer team there. And it caused a lot of calamity, right? So Savant there, as well as a new token. Well, not new, but they've been changing the tokenomics on these printer tokens. The PDI printer, that there, both of these two caused a lot of havoc for the Beast printer token. But the Beast printer token has been rebounding, so that's pretty awesome to see off the TA as well, not just off changing tokenomics. So some pretty crazy things happening on the printer tokens these days. Of course, printer tokens being one of the top categories on Pulse Chain performance in the last several months. Yeah, and of course, the love for pump tires a little bit less, right? Pump tires category just going down a little bit there as printed tokens, and of course the PDI, Atropa XUSD sort of taking over the limelight at the moment. And we've got Reserve Tay there as well. That is up 180% there. Treasury Bull. So a lot of Treasury Bull got burned off by Katie and the team. So it's 104%, up 104% at the moment. We've got some stuff around that. So we've got Dirty Crypto here. Katie wallet ending 4D53 wallet burns 5.6 trillion teddy. This is OG teddy. So that was a big deal there. And yeah, so Teddy they're getting burned, valued at $50,000, 0.6% of the supply. Some big moves there. Somi also talked about this. So Somi posted here, Polestan Pioneer update and a Atropa ecosystem. Katie has done Treasury Bill burning. So Treasury Bill as well. So we talked about that Treasury Bill getting burned there. It's up 107%. So it's liking that 0.6%. So not 0.6%, but that got burned. Katie has also done Teddy burning as well, OG Teddy as well. So remember, OG Teddy is part of James Maria, the dev, who did Atropa and of course did OG Teddy Bear. And so those have been benefiting from the moves from the XUSD team, right, which is associated with James Maria, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on there with that team. That's kind of the heart of the beast there. So yeah, we had some burning there as well. Now we knew they had more dry powder because Katie had mentioned that, right? So that's kind of where we are there on that one. We're going to come back to that topic a little bit more. Actually, we got the burn on Treasury Bill here. So there's currently 618 billion in the Treasury Bill supply there, 4,300 makers on at the moment. So that's kind of some of the key stuff there with the old Treasury Bill. Let's have a look at the price as well. So Treasury Bill there, 0.0067. The price has been moving up pretty nicely on the hourly chart there. You can see that big volume coming in as well. $1.56 million there coming in only a few hours ago. What's that, 5 hours ago? And big pumpity pump, right? So kind of cool. Moved from 0.004300 to all the way up to 0.009. Almost lost the zero, almost 1/10 of a penny there. So kind of cool. Didn't quite make it at this stage, but we'll see where it goes. All right, so that is Treasury Bill. Linko, we've been around 4 months, up 95% as well. I'm not sure what's driving that one. Not too familiar with this one. Linko, CDI to comp. Okay, so got some relationship to these other protocols. So that's also getting moved up as well. Linko is the fixer savior of CDI. The Atropa of Link is connected to the benevolent wallet, performing favorable tasks with a P maker down. And Linko uses aggressive tokenomics to absorb comp tokens, adding liquidity to PComp, a token after each swap, thus providing stronger voting power to the PC DAI proposal. And you can join them as well. So that is an interesting project. They've got the Telegram and Twitter there too. So it's maybe something to check out. Is a linker there. Dominance, another printer token. So you can see we've got the printer token still dominating, and we've got the XUSD movements still dominating as well around Treasury, Atropa, and PDI, and USDC, all that sort of stuff. So those are the two main things ticking away at the moment. Obviously, we got the Reserve Tay there associated as well, linked up to Treasury Bill. That's up 48%. Blast has been around for a year. That's up to 43% there as well. So Blaster there making a big move. Let's make this co-op, and that's been ticking away there. In 1984, when he was 12 years old, Elon Musk made a video game called Blaster. In 2024, we made a token on the Pulse chain to commemorate it. But it's been getting a bit of volume here at the moment. So pretty cool. There we go. Now the other one we've got is Gas Station, another printer token, a part of the OG web ecosystem. Of course, you're getting drop, Pulse and things like that to your wallet. That's up 36% as well. So not bad on that one. Earn gas money, Pulse just for holding. So the yields have been pretty friendly here on these tokens. So not bad there as well. So a little pump on that one. And what else we got going? We got Love.io. So another one of this has been around for 6 months. So I'm not sure what pair this is with XUSD. So that's been benefiting of its being associated with XUSD pair, and that's up 35%. Gabby is up 28% there. Not too sure what Gabby is, but or Grabby. I don't know if it's got a detail. Grabby, G-Baby, sorry. Is a token of Pulse chain launched by the developer of Atropa. So another Atropa one. So there we go. Another associated one there. Wasn't too familiar with that one actually. So it's good to know. Then we got Teddy Bear, right? So we talked about OG from Somi, right? Talked about OG there, and we talked about Teddy Bear there from a Dirty Crypto with the big burn, right? 4.6% of OG Teddy burn. We also got that as well. And that sort of the idea is, we're burning that supply off and trying to equate the system with other tokens. Now we got Teddy Bear there. This Takeover Teddy. So this is supported by the big influencer Moon King. He's got about 110,000 followers on X. So he's probably got the biggest following outside of Richard that we know of that regularly covers Pulse Chain. Teddy there is up 22%. So nice little move there. And that was a pretty obvious play, I think. Now I know a lot of people. There's this battle going on between Atropa, OG Teddy, and of course this one here with the takeover spot. You got two different narratives. They're competing each other, but they also got two different catalysts for making the move up, right? And so here we are. Had a really nice move on this one, and what did we get to? We're at 2,300 for penny, and of course we got all the way up to 165% gain inside a few hours. So it was a pretty good return, right? And I think we got up to 6,400 there, so of a penny. So it's heading towards 1 cent. I think it's kind of going to be inevitable, but hey, look, do your own due diligence. But the memes are so cool. I love the teddy bear meme. It's just such a killer meme, and the visuals are so good. Now there's the OG teddy bear there as well. So I think we talked about that quickly. OG teddy bear just below it, and that's matched with PDDC. Up 90%. What else we got there? Communists coming out of the blue there. So Communists matched with Teddy. So benefiting off the back of Teddy there. It'll be Teddy, presumably Teddy OG. And that's up 90% as well. What else there were? So Communists there are related to Hex, if I remember rightly. And then we got 9mm, one of the big dexes. So a big shout out to 9mm team. And that's up 16.5%. In fact, talking about dexes, we've got 9-inch dex, right? That's got Hexy Bastard, the founder of that. And they had a big $16 million raise, so big shout out to him. And he actually joined our Telegram group yesterday on the Kryptonite show. So if you haven't joined that, join up today. The link's in the video description. I have updated all the links. Yay, I finally did it after 3 days of procrastination. We got there in the end. So if you want to join up to any of our socials, that's Telegram. Join up to that. We have a free alpha list that we're going to be updating on a regular basis, so check that out. We've got lots of news flow going in there about all sorts of stuff. You want to have all the latest relevant things to crypto and economics and business, get into that. And also, we also have a big thing coming up soon. We're going to be launching something really big soon. You don't want to miss that. So wait for that. It's coming up there. It's going to be really fun to do it too. So it's coming up. And there was a fake token launch apparently for the Kryptonite show. That is not real. It's not me. If it doesn't come from me, if you don't hear me talking about it, then it's not mine, right? Don't go and jump on some fake token, all right? But we do have something else that's not a token coming up, and I think everyone's going to want to join that. So with that, we'll be announcing that very soon. I'm not sure over Easter weekend, but we're definitely going to have that take place. So it's going to be fun. And Easter weekend is upon us, so we're going to probably have an Easter show as well. As you guys know, I'm a Christian, so we're going to be covering that on at least one or two of the shows. Just doing a bit of a tribute to the risen King of Kings, and that is Jesus Christ, of course. And actually, I'm not going to do a traditional just Easter on there. I'm going to be talking about the evidence for the resurrection. So that's I'm going to have a little bit of a section on one of the shows talking about that, maybe on the resurrection day, which is going to be pretty awesome. And the evidence is unbelievably remarkable. So we're going to get into all that. All right, so let's get into some of this stuff. We're going to get into Sparta. So Sparta at the moment has been performing pretty well, pretty large team, up 16%. And of course, Sparta, they're buying Hex, right? It buys Hex, puts it into the DAO, and then later on, we'll buy Sparta and then burn Sparta as Hex takes off, right? So pretty good idea there. So that's taken away. So that's a pretty good performer. And what else we got there? UFO, of course, related to PDC. Now, PDC I see is one of the best investment vehicles as a leverage play on Richard Heart token. So I do see that as being one of the better products. And a big shout out to Prairie out there. He does a great job of covering that. If you want to know that the PDC UFO ecosystem upside down, all the best strategies and tactics, definitely check out Prairie there as well. And if you want to find out the links to that, just ask me in a Telegram or in Discord. So if you want to join our Discord, the link's in the video description as well. And I do encourage you to join up. We have such a wonderful bunch of people in there. We have no bad people in there as far as I know. They're all just good people, and we have a great time in there. And we have seen just about everything you could imagine in there, and on Pulse Chain and in crypto running through. It's been a pretty exciting place. So there we go. We got Most Wanted there as well, one of the OG Most. There's a pump tires that's up 12%. PLS Miami versus Teddy Bear benefiting from that as well, up 12% there is also. Let's have a quick look at PLS Miami, and we're going to go, hopefully they've got a little breakdown here. It's a collectible token in the support of Pulse Chain and free speech. Token is qualified for NFT airdrops, so kind of cool. Looks like they've got some NFT set up there for that as well. So that is doing pretty well on the back of Teddy Bear. X, of course, PDDC, linked up to 15.6%. So you can see quite a few of these tokens are linking into a Tropo or linking into PGC, trying to link into bigger ecosystems, and kind of a smart move from that point of view, trying to ride on the backs of greatness, as they say. You still got to have a good promotions for your own team, but so far so good. We got Trump token, the meme, the pump tires there, up 10.5%. So we do have, now we're getting to a few of the pump tires, right? So they have been some of the hottest performing sectors there. Obviously, pump tires launched by Richard Hart, and I did a whole video on popular pump tires the other day. It was kind of was that our second to last category, I think it was. And then so that's been performing pretty well. They've just tapered off a little bit, but I'm sure they'll be back as well. There's sort of always ebbs and flows in the top categories performing on Pulse Chain in particular time. So that's kind of where we're at there. Up token there, of course, related to Pulse there and Haunted strategy. If you know Haunted, he's a great guy and runs that, so that's doing pretty well. Also launched validated X and other forms of validating with super high yields, like instead of 10-12% yield, earning like 70%. So he's doing pretty well there. The greatest currency, like I say, got to be one of the top protocols on Pulse Chain, big community, and very, very clever setup there. That's been around for a year and 7 months, just hit over 14,000 holders of PDC, and I think that's going to be a real winner moving forward. That's up 9% there at the moment. So those are definitely some of the best performers and some of the top ones you can trade and amongst the list there. So those are all the ones over 7%. Now, we're going to be talking about Firewall and X Game and lots of stuff coming up, so don't miss out on that. We're going to be talking about all that coming up too. Gophers recently, there's a 404 contract, right? So most of these are PRC20 contracts. And of course the NFTs, 721s, 1155s, but this Gophers is a 404 contract. This is from Dipcatcher, and we talked about Dipcatcher there coming up. We talked about Dipcatcher talking about the ETH call, but we actually got to talk about Dipcatcher talking about some other stuff as well coming up. So we're going to get into that. So that's kind of the stuff that's happening with the market. We're going to move from that though and get into Steve Hitson. Because this is pretty important. So this is more alpha drop coming out today. We got lots of cool stuff. I'm going to come back to the alpha one with USDX. So I want to talk a bit more about that with Katie. So it's coming up too. But we're going to get into some cool stuff here. So Steve Hitson, he's the front man for Rackham Rochelle. Now, I'm a big a supporter of Rackham Rochelle. Doesn't mean I agree with everything that anybody does. You can support people. Still don't have to agree with 100%, right? But I think he's been pretty incredible. He has just come back from his honeymoon. So he's just come back from his honeymoon. He's had a great time away, and he's back on board. Now, Steve Hitson is his front man, and Steve Hitson there just said, people on Pulse Chain really need to understand how much damage they do, always calling out every single action they think whales and RH are doing. And I agree with this. This is counterproductive. It's almost shooting yourself in the foot. Now, Rackham Rochelle was, going to bring on VC capitalists from Saudi Arabia. And we're probably talking oil money here. And we had probably a big part of the community, at least on X, maybe not on YouTube, but on X, just mocking him and ridiculing. And it's like they're killing their own bags. I do see no logic in that whatsoever. Who kills their own bags? I don't know. Don't understand it. But they did that, and it got a lot of bad press, and went back to the investors. And basically, they're like, "No, I'm not going into this, man. I'm not going into this." And of course, the SEC thing happened as well, right? So that this doesn't work. So people have to put their caps on, right? These are people, just palming off stuff, and you really need to support there. He says Steve Hitson is the front man for Rackham Rochelle. Of course, he does a lot of the assessments of protocols that Rackham Rochelle might go into, right? So that's kind of his role. In most cases, people are making major assumptions and could be following breadcrumbs left by others to trick them. People do this chain analysis. A lot of the time, it's wrong, right? So you got to be careful with chain analysis. We create division between the community focusing on the wrong things. And you got to remember, Rackham Rochelle's not just himself, but he's got a consortium of people that typically come in and invest. So it's not just him. You might have several other people that come in. So we do see selling in certain addresses that are associated to Rackham Rochelle. There could be someone else that say, hey, look, I want to sell. I want to get out. And so Rackham says, oh, well, we're going to sell it for you, that kind of thing. So you got to remember, there's more complexities than this chain analysis as well. So we create division between community focused on the wrong things, 100%. Most that do are looking for clout and followers, 100%. it makes us look stupid and pretty petty to other crypto communities. And that's the problem, right? You look petty. People come in and go, man, this is the dark culture, right? And so that's what we do on this channel, right? This channel is just one of many. There are many other good channels and other communities online, not just influencers on YouTube or Rumble and stuff. There's people, big influencers on communities and Telegram and other places. There's lots of different types of people, in the community. There's obviously all the individuals in the community, and we all play a role, right? We all play a role in creating a real positive environment. And that's really something that we've been talking about in Discord. And that's why we've gone into promotions, because we want a place where people can get promoted. We match up good projects with good people, and they get a good, win-win outcome. And that's kind of where we're heading with this. And we want a really positive environment. But doesn't mean that we're not going to call out, problems that we've got. Like I talked about the bridge, right? We want to be upfront and honest about that. So we need, stuff around that. We need probably some more around validation and things like that. Validators. So we've still got things to build into the chain. I mean, we're 707 days old. So it might be another year or two before we get everything, completely humming with the upgrades. We also got an issue with EIP upgrades, right? We haven't been seeing those from Ethereum. Ethereum's got more EIP upgrades coming. Why haven't we seen that? So we've got fair questions that we're going to ask. This is about being realistic and not just, being rosy all the time, but not being negative, right? Not being cup half full, but cup half empty, but being a cup half full. And that's kind of where we want to go, and we want to help a lot of people in the community. Everyone wins when we all win together. So that's a real key there. Petty to other crypto communities when we are constantly doing anything we can to avoid privacy for others. I'm not saying don't track the blockchain. You should have bots and track wallets if you want to be closer to information, but keep it between you and your groups. P.S. If someone is telling you something, it's most likely because they've been acted well before they shared the info with public. Public is normally the last to know. And there's a lot of people with bad agendas out there. So you've got to be careful. And I agree with these kind of sentiments, right? So that's kind of where we are there. Now, on a positive note, so that's just, calling out some problems that I think the community needs to be careful of. And is the fact that we've got positive things happening, right? So we're talking about Hex, right? And we got Dipcatcher, one of our best devs in the community, did amazing during the bear market. I cannot understate how much value and during the SEC case that Dipcatcher and Goldkey did for the Hex contracts in particular with the Maximus products. I think that's been fantastic, as well as Alex McFurter around Hedron Acosa. That was gold. I mean, we covered all that stuff when they came out, and it was wonderful. They pretty much took in about 2.1 billion Hex. I mean, it was phenomenal, really dampened out the impact of the bear market. So a big shout out to these guys. Now they've got another product coming focused on Hex on Ethereum, and of course this will probably indirectly benefit Pulse. Hex on Pulse, just like the liquidity and any moves on Pulse chain would impact the Hex on Ethereum, right? Which is the Genesis Hex, the original Hex, right? Here's what's going to happen. He says announcement of plan is the next few days. So we're going to hear the plans there. He's got a whole new product. He's been talking to some pretty big players over on Ethereum. They were against Hex, of course, but now they're in favor because of what he's going to be doing here. It's going to be something new, and it's not a new token. It's to do something with the Hex on Ethereum. He says testnet launch. That's going to be in the next few weeks. And of course, mainnet launch a few weeks after that. Now, he's got a wonderful track record of innovation, a wonderful track record of doing great things during the bear market for Pulse. I mean, honestly, these guys were dominating the developer scene on Pulse chain at the time, along with a lot of the great DeFi projects that we had. And but they were really leading a lot of innovation. And we had mainnet launch there a few more weeks after that. So we're looking at let's say a few weeks. Let's say 3 weeks and 3 weeks, 6 weeks. So maybe we're looking at 6 weeks to 2.5 months, something like that. So 1.5 months to 2.5 months, somewhere in that zone. So this is both an on-chain and off-chain effort, and will most success, the more Hexkins get involved. Truly, every something for everyone with this. Hopefully, we can lead the bull run with Hex on Ethereum. So I'm very bullish on Hex on Ethereum, and I think this is going to be pretty awesome. So this is some real good alpha, folks, and I hope you guys are enjoying it, because this is really great stuff happening here. And don't look for the negatives. Yeah, we've had like 20 Black Swan events. We had like 10 Great Swan events, but we've actually sort of come down. I feel like everything's turning into the right direction. So get up there, be positive, spread the word, and accumulate as much as you can down at this price level at the moment. It's been a bit rough, and everyone understands that, but it's time to really start accumulating buy low, and the liquidity pools. All the signals from Richard have come out, cut inflation, thinned out liquidity pools, and won the SEC case. We've got only a couple of days away, 21st of April, I think it is, for the SEC extension. So we're moving through, and we know Trump's doing all this wonderful thing to get the US and the world back on order. The markets are going to hyper pump off the short-term pain for a medium, long-term gain, and we're going to have a great news flows coming out of those negotiations and trade, and of course around the taxes as well, and also around regulations. It's going to be a boom time, folks. Main Street and Wall Street going to be absolutely doing very well, and we're going to start heading towards those big numbers for Bitcoin and the altcoin season too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So just got to don't get too psyched out, as it were. Things are really moving. And on Pulse Chain, we got cool developers like and on the Hex on Ethereum, for example, we got cool developers like Dipcatcher doing some stuff. And of course, I did a video only like a week ago or so on the top 5 protocols coming to Pulse Chain. We got Signum, Oracle, Tetra. They're taking a little bit longer to get there, but they're going to get over the line. Then we got PUSD ALGO, the big algorithmic stablecoin based on stability miners. We got Sun Minimeal, the big European food corporate. Basically got the holy grail of food and weight loss. That's already kicking in on the old Soul token. We've got really cool stuff there. We've got X game coming up. That's going to potentially could be a killer viral game there from Firewell and Randy Olasky. We have got so much stuff coming down the line. It is going to be so awesome. So feel really uplifted here. Like I say, we still have things to do around the bridging and the validators. And so I still think we've got work there to be done. But man, things are really looking good from all the protocols coming on to the chain. So I'm very excited about the future and all the thinning out of liquidity pools. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, the other big thing there we've got is some stuff here from Khaled Crypto. So we're going to flip back here now, back to the PDI Atropa XUSD sort of story and all the associated tokens. But we had some pretty cool stuff here. So we're going to get into this from Khaled of Crypto. It says things are still unclear for PDI. So this is particularly focused on PDI. Now, PDI obviously went up to about 11/100th of a penny last night. I think it's pulled back to about 77/100th of a penny, something like that. And so that's kind of where we are. And it says here the things we know, part 2. So he's obviously had some posts here. I don't know if it's part 1 there, actually. I don't know if he had part 1. Let me see here. He's had some good posts on this, though, and I enjoy his perspective. Part 1 there. I'm not sure where part 2 went, actually. Let me just scroll back down here. I didn't realize he had made so many posts recently. Yeah, we might just go back to that last post, actually. So he goes, when was this made? This was made 8 o'clock yesterday. But he had a nice little update here about PDI. And, of course, we've seen the function get called. The fire function got called, remember, yesterday by Katie and the team. And, of course, they ended up shutting down PMaker, right? So that's been a pretty good move. The SEM shutdown was necessary to freeze user-facing functions. It cancelled the active surplus flap command and the debt flop auctions. We were following those, right? We followed the auctions on those. So those were all shut down. And if you guys remember, these were kind of the final numbers here. So we had this 600 billion debt ceiling and 128 billion total debt. We had 50K in the joy, and that's kind of where it finished there. And we had all these auctions sitting here, and that we had all these maker lots, right? So yes, you maker. This is a system savior there, and of course, winning all the auctions, they were able to then shut down, take over the maker and shut that down there. So that's kind of where we are on that one. Seems like the DF3 wallet team have proven their benevolence by burning the majority of the supply, and their plan is to use the rest. Remember, they burned, I think it was 73 billion of the amount. So we started off at 26 billion. Went up to what was it? 100 went from 26 up to about 144 or something. They burnt like 73 billion, something like that. And so we've ended up having that benefit there. So that's been kind of cool on that front. But probably more importantly is that we've had some big updates here from Katie overnight, right? So I'm going to try and read a few of these. You'll have to bear with me as I go through some of these, but this has been pretty positive stuff. So yeah, they were discussing setting up validator nodes with what's left of burning there with the pulse. So they're going to do that. Let's see here. So they did something. They said Katie says it's called redistribution. So this was time early in the morning or yesterday. Was it yesterday? This was yesterday, late at night, I think it was. But it's called distribution of value from a protocol that is getting shut down to prevent any possible governance attacks or new minting in the future. So that was the rationale there for shutting down the old PMake or MakerDAO contract there and stop the PDI minting. and of course that impacts the exploiter and leakages out of the pulse chain, right? Multi-million-dollar leakages over a long period of time. So it all shuts that all down, and that satisfies Richard's a need to shut down PMAC and tell everyone stop. You kept on saying stop going to PDI. So the ex-USD team with Katie there ended up doing that, right? So we burned 50 million worth of tokens, and the Atropa pool that took the most PDI to collapse. So they also burnt some of the PDI pool there. The Atropa pool with PDI took the most PDI to collapse. Needed to have that liquidity removed and burned to maintain parity between the P stables. And we saw that yesterday. I looked at PDI, USDC, and USD Tether. These are all the fork copies on Pulse Chain, and we saw that at least USD Tether and PDI had come into parity, and of course the USDC was above, but of course they were working on getting them all to parity, right? We burned $50 million worth of tokens in the Atropa pool and took the most PDI to collapse, needed to have the liquidity removed and burned to maintain parity between P stables. Also, Maria, this is James Maria, of course, of Atropa and Teddy Bear. Maria can calculate how much he needs and buy out that PDI and burn it if he sees the need. So they've still got a lot more options here. Now, the other thing, of course, in the XUSD Telegram group, they also got Rack and Michelle was in there, right? So that's how I knew Rack and Michelle was back from his holiday, and he'd been in Dubai, the Maldives, and the Caribbean. So he'd been in a pretty good honeymoon there. So big shout out to Rack and Michelle. Hope he had a wonderful time with his new bride. So pretty cool. Now, the other thing, of course, we also see from Katie there was they also had a few more tidbits here. So I'm going to try and go through some of these as well. They talked a bit about, let me see here. Yeah, they pegged between the three stables, but price will be determined by incentives built around it. So this whole part of the XUSD, right, is to have incentives. That's how they are going to imagine a trend line, and then you're oscillating between that trend line. I think it's the kind of idea how they're going to try and move the XUSD up in value, potentially towards a dollar peg. And then we know that at the end of this year, they're going to be towards the end of the year, they're going to be actually having handover. So they're going to take away all the keys, as I understand, from XUSD, and then they're going to burn them and therefore move into the DAO protocol, and people will decide what they're going to do there. So there's some pretty big stuff there. Yeah. So community governments will get to decide what protocols they want to get rewards with in bonds and decide how much tax they want to pay. Taxes keep the supply deflationary all the time. So that's particularly around XUSD, which is kind of the one of the ultimately, I think, the main goal. But apart from equalizing all the stable coins on the back of Atropa and all that, so I think that's been pretty good. They also said also beside the BS, 70% goes to burn, 30% goes to treasury for XUSD. Pays marketing, dev expenses, hosting, and that kind of stuff. Workspaces and team salaries get paid. We have a team of 16 people, so it's a pretty big team, including 5 people working on XUSD full time. And our work is scheduled to end 24th of September 2025. So that's kind of the end game for the team. So we probably won't see any more activity, at least on this side of things. And maybe they'll move on to other stuff within Pulse Chain. But that's when the keys will get renounced and community governance will take control of XUSD from the looks of it. And there will be no team, no team. So there's not going to be any future roadmap for there. Just in case there will be no Oracle manipulation possible with the governance, neither someone having a possibility to have the keys. So that is coming up. So over 8% burn now. They've dramatically increased the burn, and that's not going to probably stop. So some big stuff coming from the team there. In there, and if you haven't joined the XUSD Vibratal Telegram, you want to keep up to date with this, definitely join up to that. And I would probably join up to the DAI group as well. But this is kind of the XUSD Telegram's the place to be. They also have a XUSD live burn tracker in there as well, and you can get a lot of this information in there. If you're wondering what's going on, you want to keep up to it, then definitely join up to XUSD Telegram for that. So that's kind of where we are seeing there. USDC is going to get burned. It's going to be sunk into Atropa and then burned. So that's something else they've been doing. So they've got lots of little tidbits in here about what they've been doing there. Yeah, and they look like they're going to be doing some Atropas, and they definitely have more dry powder to do even more. Yeah, so on our behalf, we will burn tokens. Liquidity has to be handed out to those holders evenly, in our opinion. Now, the other thing, of course, James Maria is on deck, right? So he's not just, he did this big sell down on PDI, and a Troper, and then he bridged over all that at that Ethereum online stream. Well, he's still going to be he's still on the deck here because Katie references him having his own options to do with this whole move that we've been doing. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting where this all heads. Let me just have a look here. I've got a couple other comments here. Yeah, I think that was it on that one. Let me just see if I've got any other good ones here. Let's see here. Let me see. Just scrolling up some of these. So some of the key ones there coming out from the team, and we're going to keep track of that, of course, as we go forward and pull up a good picture of that. So hopefully that's been of some interest to people, and yeah, we're doing pretty well today. So we've got about 120 people watching live. So if you're new to the channel, definitely smash the subscribe button on YouTube, hit the follow button on Rumble and on X platform. Definitely do that and share the channel around. Like if you love the coverage, we're trying to do our best to cover everything on Pulse Chain in a positive manner. Facing up to the challenges, but also looking at the wonderful opportunities on Pulse Chain. And at the moment, you can buy at the bottom. I mean, that's what it feels like, right? That's what it looks like on the TA. And we've got good news coming up in a couple of days potentially with the SEC. Man, it's just going to be game on. And Richard's obviously been ramping up his commentary, talking about what wallet should he fork now too. And we're back on the front foot, guys. We're back on the front foot. So go with it. Be wise. Don't go all speculation. Pick up a good portfolio. Some of the RH tokens, some of the cool protocols like PDC and other things like that. And you can have a little bag for speculation, but just play it well, and stay in the game. Stay in the game. All right. Hope you guys have enjoyed that, and I have certainly enjoyed it. And we're going to probably cover a bit more as we find out more information on all these topics. We're going to share that with you as well. I will catch you in the next one. Don't forget Discord links in the video description. Join up today. We've got the community memberships. They're $12.50 a month. We've got the Strategy Club, $35 a month. They're great value, and get in on those as well. And then thirdly, if you want to get into a Telegram group, that's got the alpha list. It's a free alpha list of tokens that are performing pretty well. There are a whole range of farms and printers and other tokens in there. You can check that out. And we're going to curate that from time to time. Big shout out to MV and Wookie out there doing a great job in our team. And of course, as you guys know, we've moved into promotions to help out a win-win. We just feel like that needed in the community to help small to medium teams to start elevating themselves with projects that seem like they've got a good brand, a good opportunity there as well. So we're moving into a lot more of that. So you see us doing a lot of emerging tokens and talking about stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun. So a big shout out to many of those teams. Now we've got a couple of the teams I think in the chat there. So let's go to some of these comments. We've got Crypto Cycles in house there, DragonX, Titanx, Pulsar, Lotus, Eden, JakeX, LegendX, Eros, all up here together now on Pulse Chain. Here they are indeed, which reminds me that I've got to talk about those too with Titanx, which is our next topic. So I haven't quite finished yet. I got 7 minutes ago. We've got Titanx at the moment. Not too much movement there at the moment. Like I say, all the buy and burns are turned off here. So this is highly asset backed, right? So the buy and burns get turned on. This thing's going to hyper pump. They also got a lot of development. Jake Sharp's been doing a lot of development there. And he is got the omni-chain strategy to roll out. So we're going to probably see AI agents, cross-chain web, bots and on-chain bots, LP webbing, all this sort of stuff coming into play here. Multiple projects launching, and this is buy low, right? Buy low, this is where it's at, and buy high. The one thing we've seen is DragonX ratio really starting to climb, and it's been climbing for some time, the last 30 days, in fact, and that's up about 60% or something like that. So things are moving on this chain. Be careful. Don't get don't get distracted from value. Stay objective, right? Stay objective. And buy and burns, Hyper and Hydra turned off. DragonX turned off. So once they all get turned on, the omni-chain strategy, this thing's going to be pretty awesome reversal. Ethereum starts pumping, game on, right? So don't miss out opportunity. Buy low and then sell high later on. That's kind of the play there. Lots of cool things happening on the protocol. One of the best performers, of course, is the first project to go to omni-chain, which is Uranus, and that is doing very, very well. Down 11% at the moment, but that ratio, 2.43x 28. Fantastic. Well done to the team. And we've got a little bit of pump going on with B88, the up 42%. So not bad. We're looking forward to, what are we looking forward to? Bitcoin Genie coming up. That's probably a month away or something like that. and then we're also looking forward to Taurus coming out from Cryptographics. That looks like it's getting very close. So Cryptographics, another Pulse Chain Titanix influencer, and does some very good stuff there. So that is coming up too. So yeah, don't get tricked out. This is probably a pretty good zone to start accumulating old Titanix there on Ethereum. Now we're going to be covering more chains as well. We're going to be moving on. Obviously, we started covering base chain. We cover Ethereum. We cover Pulse Chain. But we're going to probably be moving on to cover Sonic and other chains as well. So we've got a few opportunities we're going to talk about on those. So look forward to coverage there as well. Mad gains, diversified portfolio, all that good stuff. Let's see what else. What comments we got here? We got a couple more. We got crypto cycles there as well. Yeah, Eros burn. I just realized I didn't show the screen when I was talking about Titanix, but hey, you guys got the idea. Eros burn baby burn from Titanix is on the Pulse chain and 36 LP pools and growing. All bot coins are going to Pulse. Nice one there, crypto cycles. Big shout out for that. So hopefully they got that out there. Glad to catch another live. Says Frank White. Hey Frank, hope you're doing well. We're moving up to, we've got about 130 people watching at the moment, so definitely smash the subscribe. Check out the socials in the video description. I just updated it yesterday, so yeah, might as well check it out and join in either Discord, Telegram, or all of them. Get involved. We are ramping things up, and if you guys haven't noticed, it is going very, very fun here. Cry community stands with you, Kryptonite. I appreciate that. Big shout out to the Cry community. Doing pretty well there. I love the meme there with the old Richard Hart cry. That's pretty cool. I really love my Superman cowlick there. Isn't that cool? It just happened. I did not plan it. I did not make it. I didn't brush it or anything. It just sat like that. That's just the way it goes. It's just natural there from Planet Krypton. UFO and PDC are our favorites. Yeah, they are hot. I really do think that's one of the most investable protocols and communities on the Pulse chain for sure. What else there? We got Mitchie and House. Big shout out to ZZ10. Yeah, Mitchie. We're probably going to be talking about Mitchie soon. So that's definitely coming up there. Big shout out to the team. And IC33 out there too. Wookie says, got the name change there, I see. We got Wookie says, woohoo. It's pretty cool. What else there? I'm not sure what, I don't quite follow that logic, but we got Alex in the house there. Where's the proof master? Says Alex. And just proofing around, says Bahop. Nice one. And we got Peso doing our house, Soft Shell, Tetra, automate your DeFi. And yeah, we're looking forward to it, man. It is very close, isn't it? Very close, Tetra and the Oracle Signum. So we're waiting for that. I know he's going to get it over the line there. Stu's working very hard to get that to market. LOM8's in the house there. Hey, good to see you. Brennan as well, a TA guru in Discord. This is the sort of quality of people we've got in our Discord. Brennan's in there, he's a TA guru and very good at it. And so if you want to get, meet people like Brennan, get into our Discord, links in the video description, and become part of our community as well. In discussion with Gifford Tech to get Pulsar moving, all the Titanix over to Pulse Chain and burn half the Titanix moved over the bridge. That'd be awesome. And I'm sure Gifford Ware would be keen on that. So a fantastic move there. I like that. Like we're heading with all those comments, by the way, Crypto Cycles. X28 to OmniChain, Pulsar to Pulse, and Eros LP pair with all the Titanix ecosystem coins. Wonderful. Dropping the alpha there today. Nice one. And we've got Crypto MVS in house there. Hey, Legends, says Crypto. Now, Crypto MVS is our promotions lead in our team. So if you want to, you can either contact me or contact MVS, and we can help promote your team. And of course, we do what we call a reasonable test. Make sure that your projects are reasonable, and that people can have a reasonable chance of doing well out of it. So check them out. Hit MVS up if you have projects. Doesn't matter whether it's on Pulse Chain or it's on Ethereum, on Base Chain, Sonic. We're going to cover it all. And as we grow multi-chain community, it's going to benefit Pulse Chain. Yes, you guys know I'm a Pulse Chain maxi, Hex maxi, but we're open-minded, right? So crypto's got a lot of opportunities, and the more people we can get covering different communities, the more that we'll see Pulse Chain and Hex ultimately as well. It's kind of a win-win, right? Win-win both ways. Hex Stakes in the house there. Superman, thanks for being here. Our time is coming. It certainly is, man, and that's a great way to finish the show. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage today. And this is the new B-roll. Is it a B-roll? I don't know. It's the ending video, but it's the full video now, and I'm very happy about that. So big shout out to the person that did that. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Just let me find the name. It is pretty cool. So no, if I got it in here on the list. No, I've ended up putting it somewhere else. So let me just go find that. Let me find the name there. Scroll. Mr. Onizuka. A big shout out to you. Thank you so much. This is created by him, and this is my end roll. So take care, everybody. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Keep winning in crypto. Buy low. We're right in the low zone now, and it's about to get real in the months ahead. So have a fun time and make mad gains. That's all I can say. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the Easter weekend. Wow. Easter weekend, can't even believe it. The death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the God-man, of course. And, the evidence is unbelievable. I will be going through that in a segment on the show on Resurrection Day. So look forward to that. It's going to be amazing. All right, take care, everybody, and bye for now.